live from the cool city of Enugu State on DSTV 254, Gold TV 17, and for here co-host.
Good morning. In the city, as well as Jane depends on
please connect this colleague TV. So we're going to be connecting her to find out of the show we have from our new yes, we went we've been going to the jail because we are going to station. We'll be talking about discipline versus guest also talking about ownership and how to what really people get to face, people who run small businesses here on the show. We're still going to have our social media trends. We'll be deep diving into the world of TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, what is happening on this show. But before we get to what you
We begin the news updates in Abia State, where a teenager, Divine Odide, has died inside the swimming pool of a hotel in Obo Hill area of Abia State. Gunmen operating in a sports utility vehicle on Friday abducted an unidentified man who was reportedly returning from taking his kids to school. Now, in other news, the Women Affairs Minister, Hajia Imam Suleiman Ibrahim, has expressed strong support for President Bola Tinubu's recent assent to tax reforms law, calling it a significant step towards enhancing the welfare of Nigerians. Moving on to the foreign scene, the Office of Brazil's Solicitor General said on Friday it was conducting technical analysis that can lead the government to take legal action against the decision by Congress to overturn a tax hike on some financial transactions. And lastly, on the news updates, the home-based Super Eagles will open their campaign at the 2024 African Nations Championship against holders Senegal at the Amman Stadium, Zanzibar, on Tuesday, 7th August. And that's the much we can take on the news this morning. Do well to stay with us for the rest of the program. I am Ogochukwu Osai.
Welcome back. It is still the AM Weekend Show, and my name is Divine Onoha. I'm also here with Ogochukwu. Yeah. And by Ijoma Luke, I told you to Holy Ijoma. Good.
Clean up.
Okay. There are people outside. Wow. My clean.
Now what you can see where people are cleaning and working. Everybody, all hands on deck. Everybody's working. And it looks so fun out here.
Okay, so
it's cleaning with music. You know.
Oh, okay. But there are vehicles, commercial vehicles, running, passing, plying the road. Is it supposed to be so?
Yeah, you know, people will still be themselves. People will still do what they do, but still, the ex-former workers are out. Everybody's out cleaning, but there are still people moving around.
Okay, and there's no restriction.
No, there is no restriction. Take a look at them. They're working.
Yes, we are seeing them.
Enugu, keeping Enugu very clean for us.
All right, that is really beautiful. We'll come back to you to get more details on what is going on. In the meantime, have fun while cleaning. This girl is such a vibe.
Honestly,
always excited, and I really love her energy. Like she's always pumped up.
Very interesting.
It's not like you. I don't know what you're doing here.
My energy is reserved.
Let me throwing all the shades I can throw, because when your own comes, it comes with a bomb.
It's not a problem.
It's like a tsunami.
Wow.
That's what I've been enduring.
Is this how you see me?
I mean, everybody watching. Shake, we used to see.
I'm always short of words.
You always bully. Hey, my God.
I don't know.
I've been bullied on this
how
set.
You see me. Let bygone be bygone. I can't remember bullying you, but you know.
I'll take it that Favor was a heavy influence on you at the time. Shebi, we can agree on something now.
We cannot agree on anything.
Okay, you're a bully.
I never bullied you.
Fine, you're a bully. All right.
Okay.
Moving on. So a few weeks ago, we were talking about AI. You remember that conversation?
Yeah.
So, and I said something. You people were thinking I was joking. I was saying AI is not that intelligent. I said AI stresses me out. ChatGPT precisely stresses me out. Whenever I have to do something, I'll describe. I'll, give the, what's it called? The prompt. I'll make it as explanatory as possible, as descriptive as possible. And at the end of the day, when they respond to me, we just keep going back and forth until I just say, you know what? I'll do it by myself. And I'm glad we had that conversation, because something has just happened. Billionaire Sam Altman came out and warned against blind trust in ChatGPT. and said AI hallucinates. And I'm trying to get some of the, let me see if I can get one or two things that he said there. He said people have very high degree of trust in ChatGPT, which is interesting because AI hallucinates. It should be the tech you don't trust that much. And he also said, he talked about his personal experience with relying on ChatGPT and how that he finally realized that sometimes it's wrong. He was saying his own personal experiences that sometimes he would depend on ChatGPT for how, you know, strategies to make his baby sleep or what he should do when his baby does this. And he was so descriptive about it. And at the end of the day, he said that AI should be that thing that you don't really trust. Yes, it can assist you with one or two things, with ideas, but it shouldn't be like something you rely on entirely. And I've seen this thing happen a lot of times. People are starting to call other people out because I don't know if it's a Nigeria thing. It looks like we're blowing this thing out of proportion. People will have spiritual questions. People will have... What do you think it's a Nigerian problem?
It's a people problem. I don't think it's a Nigerian problem because this is the place where we are focused. We're in Nigeria, so we will definitely be seeing more about Nigeria. If you're outside the country, you're going to see how it's also reflecting on them.
I mean, clearly he's not a Nigerian and he's saying it, but...
you know, saying something about asking ChatGPT how to take care of your child or make your child sleep, I don't think it's a question you have to ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT is not a human. It does not know anything about childbirth or how to handle
Funny enough, it does.
In as much as
it does.
You have... What do you want ChatGPT to do?
They'll paint a live scenario.
And it's going to gather all the data. Remember, it's working with data. It's not a human being. So it's working with the data it's always exposed to. So he's going to gather those data and reply. So he's definitely giving you what he thinks is the right thing, you understand? But it's in your place to filter. It's in your place to understand that you're a human and this is not relating. I have an example where I wanted to use it for content strategy. I can use it for content strategy, or most of the times I use it for templates purposes. So when I ask a question and I get the template, then I go ahead to do what I want to do. Maybe if it's a script, maybe something I've not done before, I want to get a template and see how it works or how it looks, then I can ask ChatGPT, get a template, go ahead and script my stuff, then send it to it for correctional purposes. That's how I use ChatGPT. And at the end of the day, even if it's going to give me any template another day, it uses my style of writing. I don't know if you understand what
Yes, I do.
So that's basically where I use ChatGPT the most. I cannot come and use ChatGPT for spiritual purposes or when it comes to childbearing. I mean, that's where you have doctors. Lately, I had a condition that had to take me to hospital. So before I actually use ChatGPT and also Google to, you know, understand what it's all about before going. But I had to go see a doctor because at the end of the day, it's giving me data that he gathered from social media or, you know, browsing websites, you understand? But I had to go to the doctor, in as much as there are some other things related to what the doctor said, but it's the same thing. It's not different. It's completely different from what the doctor will give to you because this is somebody who has studied about this and understood this very well to a large extent.
Exactly. And you have a point there. The truth is that people are not realizing that in as much as ChatGPT is helpful, we are the human beings. Like you mentioned relationship, for instance, asking ChatGPT about your relationship. ChatGPT does not know that guy. You know, like, he's working with that information. You're the one that has seen patterns. You're the one that you've seen all sorts of things. So even the information he's going to give you, it's not ChatGPT is going to give you. It's not going to be sufficient enough. So at the end of the day, people should just learn. There's this dependency. If this thing is working, then I should depend on it entirely. And I don't want to think again. I was saying this thing. We're having. Oh, let me not call this man out again.
You know, I also had a problem that day.
I'm still, probably would have more conversation about that because he needs to explain this thing. We've been saying it here that it leads to over-dependence.
You don't expect him to explain for that.
Even though
his
business. No, aside business, he made a point. He said that his own, the one that he was talking about, is focused on something. So until we use that one and know if it works for that, and that's another thing. People need to learn what these different AIs are used for. But I think that's where we'll be wrapping up this particular conversation. Up next on the AM Weekend Show is our newspaper review. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. person, Ogochukwu.
I'm happy for you.
Did you hear the way the compliment went and how he accepted it? It means that
you
I
have
say
to
the
learn
truth.
it. So you have to
Unlike
learn it.
you.
When someone genuinely compliments you,
No, the point is...
You see how he
the
took
point
your
is,
compliment?
he was able to
Take it
sense
in.
that I'm genuine.
Oh my God.
Unlike you. But let's...
What if your sense of whatever is corrupt?
It can't be corrupt. He will sense it. All right, so we're going to be looking at the papers. We'll begin with Liberty, and the boldest headline we have here says, APC chairman Gandhi resigns. Dalori appointed acting chairman. FG appoints Barrister Ahmed new PCNGI boss. Also on this paper, SDP state chairman back national chair, Gaban's suspension. Finally on this paper, Tinubu broadcast peace between Fubara, Wike.
Now, moving straight to Saturday Times, why Ganduje resigned as APC national chairman. This is the boldest headline, and you can find it in page 14. Thames becomes co-owner of San Diego FC in groundbreaking ML deal. Also on this paper, we have Ribadu reads riot act to elect offenders. Speed Darlington wanted by NAPTIP over rape. And that's the much we can take from this paper.
All right, moving on to the boldest headline here, say on Ganduje losing APC to act as chairman. Acts on page 4. Hire 6 leave to travel abroad. Afeni Pandev, SMBLF, mourn ex-Kwara governor Adebayo's transition. And that is the much we can take on Saturday Tribune.
And straight to Saturday Punch, boldest headline says, Wike Fubara feud. Governor supporters clash over peace deal. Riders say it surrendered, not reconciliation. This is by ex-commissioner. Another rider says, solution climax of Tinubu's efforts, says ex-reps member. Deadly justice fight the chairman. For deportation for ageism in Nigeria. Find this on page 14. Ogun finds students commit suicide after suspension for exam. We also have on this paper, why APC national
Neurologists seek risk factors of stroke as cases surge in Nigeria amid rising cost of drugs. Reverend Chris Christian says, I was burned to live without a family. You find that on page 19. Also on this paper, APC national chairman in city. Finally, on this paper, relative safety of NG progress. That's what we have today, Independent.
And from Nigeria loses $1.1 billion yearly to medical tourism. This is by Afrexim Bank. Also on this paper, we have Nigeria now 12th poorest country by GDP per capita. This is by IMF. Kenyan court declares Nnamdi Kanu's abduction illegal. IPOB hails ruling. We'll also have on this paper, FDI nosedives. Nigeria loses 19% investment in Q1 2025. This is credited to CBN, and that's the much we can take from this paper.
Moving on to the Matrix, the boldest headline here says, Ganduje, Tinubu directs Dalori to step in as AG chairman. APC to convene emergency NEC meeting to appoint successor. Activist charges EFCC to resume cases against Ganduje immediately. Tinubu to visit St. Lucia, Brazil for diplomatic BRICS engagement. Nylon producers appeal to Lagos Assembly speakers to halt July ban on single-use plastics. Student alumni reject Makinde's renaming of Polytechnic Ibadan. And also on this paper, we have a headline that says, NAPTIP declares Speed Darlington wanted over alleged rape and cybercrimes. That's what we have on the Matrix.
And from Weekend Trust, how Ganduje was forced to resign. Desperation, low purchasing power. Nigeria turned to expired goods. You can find this on page 7. Kenyan court affirms Kanu's rights violation, awards 10 million shilling damage, page 36. And poverty, insecurity threaten 2027 election, reports say, and this is on page 10. And that's the much we can take. Okay, let's take this last one. Conditions set for Fubara's return as Tinubu brokers trace. This is on page 6, and that's the much we can take from the paper.
All right, one more time. You're welcome to the show, Barrister Chidi.
Thanks. There's a lot.
There's a lot, but I'm not sure we'll be able to do a lot. But let's begin with this one. This because I think it's very important to Ndibo.
Okay.
And we are talking about Nnamdi Kanu's case, the fact that Kenya court declares Nnamdi Kanu's abduction illegal, IPOB hails ruling. Now, I'd like you to tell us, as a barrister, exactly what that means to Nnamdi Kanu and to us, and of course to IPOB.
Okay, it's not a new thing. There's a court in Nigeria that has also declared that abduction from Kenya to Nigeria illegal. So it's not, I don't think it's the first time. But I think that the court that did it in Kenya is a higher court. It will be used, Nnamdi Kanu is about to open his defense, I think somewhere in the middle of June. So it will be used to, buttress his case. Because if his, the way they brought him into this country, if it is legally, if it had been declared illegal, every other thing that you're doing to him, all the court activities and everything, all of them goes to no issue. Because you have to, first of all, make that very one right, you understand? So that will help him in his case, because he can apply for the certified true copy of the judgment and see exactly that they were breaking a whole lot of international law, as at the time they were, arresting him in Kenya and bringing him back to Nigeria. It was totally false, and I know that judgment there in Kenya will help to buttress the case he is facing, the terrorism case he's facing now in Nigeria. Yeah.
So you're saying that he's going to open defense by when?
He's opening defense, I think, on the 18th of... he's opening defense he's filing a no-case submission. Yes, he is filing a no-case submission, and I think that will be taken on the 18th of July. He's filing a no-case submission. If the court upholds the no-case submission that Mr. Nnamdi Kanu has no case to answer, automatically he will be discharged and acquitted, even though the government has the right of appealing against that judgment. You understand? But if the court says the no-case submission does not stand, come in and defend yourself, okay? He would definitely bring all this evidence I'm talking about as a way of putting his own defense. The prosecution has concluded and has closed his case. So it's left for Nnamdi Kanu now to open his defense. And in opening his defense, he wants to enter a no-case submission. I've talked it about here. It's a situation whereby you are saying that the prosecution have not linked anything on me. So I'm not opening anything. You cannot put something on top of nothing and expect it to stand. So what Mr. Nnamdi Kanu is saying that I'm entering a no-case submission. All the witnesses called, all the documents called, none of them could be directly linked to me. So I am untouchable. You have not, the prosecution have in his own legal opinion, the prosecution have done nothing. So he's entering a no-case submission. The court will now rule on that no-case submission, and now, whether it's positive, he will be discharged and acquitted. But if the court rules against the no-case submission, sometimes the judge might say, okay, no-case submission, do your defense, let me rule both the no-case submission and the final judgment, let me take ruling on them at the same time. Some do it like that, but I pray that in this instance, they will go ahead and rule on that no-case submission, because the substance of the no-case submission will also enable him to know how to package and then present his defense.
This thing...
July, yeah.
The whole thing just got me thinking. I'm wondering, since we're now, it looks like we're certain that July is when we're going to get the last of this. Does it seem so?
No, it doesn't seem certain, or rather...
You're saying that he might be acquitted if
yes, if the no-case submission is taken and then the parties adopt their processes, the judge will rule on the no-case submission. If it is positive, like I initially said, what no-case submission means, I personally have done a no-case submission before.
Okay.
And on that same day, the accused from the court straight back, he left the court and went straight to his house, you understand? Because he has already been on bail. But this one, Nnamdi Kanu have not been on bail. You understand? He has been under DSS incarceration, but he has not been granted bail. If he has been granted bail, probably he has been coming from his house to attend this trial. If the no case submission favors him, from there he walks home, and he walks home forever and ever. You will never bring that case against him, except if you want to go on appeal on the no case submission. Because one thing with criminal cases is that once it has been tried and the trial has been exhaustive and judgment has been given on that trial and you have been discharged and you have been acquitted, nobody will ever bring terrorism or terrorist charge against him in respect to that particular matter anymore. Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's move down to south part of Nigeria, where we have seen a peace talk between Wike, Fubara, and the president. Do you think there is any hope of restoring the government of the River State from this conversation?
By when you look at Fubara's body language and everything, you know that he has been muzzled down to the barest minimum of things that he can accept in order for peace to reign, and also for him not to be a troublesome governor who never finished 4 years. So left to me, being there and then networking on how to come back to power again is very much important than any other thing. This settlement have made Nigerians truly believe that the whole declaration of state of emergency is for political motivation. Because look at a place like Benue, where 200 people were killed. Mr. President had a way of mustering support and calling the communities and all the traditional rulers together to ensure that what he calls farmer-hedger clash does not continue. You understand? Meanwhile, these were murdered in cold blood. These were terrorists. The real terrorists murdered people in cold blood, and we are calling it farmer-hedger clash. But where there is peace, where peace is reigning, simply because of 2027, they want to, cage River State because of its importance in winning 2027. That's why everything that's happening in River State is happening, and because of the role that Nyesom Wike is playing in APC administration. If you read deep into that report, they are telling him that he's not coming back in 2027, that he's serving only one term, and Wike will appoint 23 local government leaders of the state. So that's a total giveaway, because at that time he will not be able to do anything. If you don't have the local government, how will you be able to win the election? And if Wike has the local government, which means he can even promise Mr. President that he will assure him 2027. Yes, that he will assure him the vote of River State people in 2027, even though it's a PDP state. Have you seen the political shenanigan that is going on in that state right now? So Wike is the one who's going to appoint the 23 local government chairmen. You understand? And Fubara, tentatively, allegedly, is agreeing to only this one term, which will end in 2027. So in 2027, they will pick another person who will, just like Mr. President did in Lagos State. You understand? The other time, he brought in Ambode, Abi, and then he left, and then he brought in Sanwo-Olu. Just like one tenor. If you're not dancing to my tune, this is where politics have gotten to in Nigeria. Godfatherism is killing politics. I pray that the people of River State will open their eyes and see that Wike is putting them in. You know, there's a difference between purse and pocket. You understand? Wike is putting them in a pocket. Your vote will never count anymore. They will write how to the what they want to the state. So on reverse, like what Tinubu did, exactly where he's going to. That's why he fought of declaring his state of emergency only to clinch power. Look, let me tell you, they have suppressed and they have battered Fubara to a standstill. He cannot do any other thing now. He cannot do any other thing. Because if Mr. President can extend the state of emergency and ask you to go to court, at the end of the day, you will not do anything. This is a slap in the face of democracy. I criticize it with every atom of strength in my vein, because this is how democracy will just die. You understand? Godfatherism. You've left office, but you still want to have a hand in that office, controlling the resources of the office, controlling politics in the office, controlling almost everything in that state. Let's see how it goes.
So let's see how it
goes. Yeah.
You talked about the people of River State, and I'm just curious, what could they possibly do about this?
If he said he will be the one to appoint the whether through election or whether through appointment or selection or whatever, if Wike is, like the paper said, if Wike is saying, I will be the one in charge, that's power. That's power. Because those local government chairmen, they will be the one who will decide who will be the government, who will be the governor of that state come 2027. That's power for you. You can't do any other thing. Even if members of, what is the members of the house, their own power now have been, their wings have been clipped. If peace is going to reign between Wike and Fubara, the members of the house, they'll just sit there and collect their salary and leave. They will just become a rubber stamp members of the house. They will never do anything because they are not even going to be instrumental in returning a Fubara back to power. The most important people are the local government chairmen. They are the ones that matters. And if they are in Wike's hand, automatically they are in APC's hand. Because in 2027, that's where the election, grassroots is where the election occurs. It's not just in government house. Yeah.
Why would it be in Wike's hands? I'm perturbed.
That's politics for you.
I'm disturbed.
That's what he got out of the state of emergency. That's politics for you.
I saw
remember that election has already been conducted, and yes, election has been conducted after, I think, was it after the Supreme? No, that was before the Supreme Court judgment in Rivers State. Election week, after the Supreme Court gave a verdict that local government money will now be paid into the local government coffers. You remember?
Yes,
yeah. Now, before the one telling Fubara to go and redo the election. After that one, Fubara conducted an election whereby he used another political party which swept all the 23 local government in Rivers State. Now, they will do another election or selection of only to put those people in the hands of Wike. I say it again, this is power, and this is the blueprint of 2027, looking at you in your eyes.
Exactly.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
And
Everything happening in Rivers State right now is they are and they don't want the constitution that will make Nigeria. They don't want that. Drain out, toss it between cronies, and we bleed. That's our sector. Power. That back to people from they were coming to Nigeria for medical attention. Our doctors we used to be the best. What happened to that development? What happened to that system? Corruption, democracy. Once they bring this democracy, leadership of the people, they will just murder you, they will kill you there. You won't even know. Because once you are shouting democracy, they will buy the judiciary, they will buy the INEC and everything. You will be shouting democracy, democracy until you die. Nothing will come out of it at the end of the day. That's where we are.
And it just makes us helpless.
It's it's a very desperate situation. I pray that there is, going into the resignation of Ganduje, I pray that what is happening in APC now will really upset the apple cart, such a way that probably there will be a crack in this their, think tank and this their campaign, and everybody thinks now that APC has, really mustered the amount of power that it needs to go into 2020. I disagree with them. I totally disagree. There's rumor that Shetima will be dropped. That's going to be a problem for APC, because I wonder how they will be able to get Northeast if they don't want to rig it again. I wonder how they'll be able to get the massive votes that Northeast gave them the other time, because that was as a result of the fact that Shetima is from the Northeast. Now, he's going to bring in, he wants to use this guy, Kwankwaso. Kwankwaso will soon, there's a rumor, okay? I heard from the grapevine that Kwankwaso will soon join APC. That he feels that Kwankwaso has more voting credibility and power than Shetima. Let's see how that goes. Kwankwaso is from the Northwest, okay? So let's really see how that goes. Ganduje has resigned. So I don't know if they don't really, if what I am envisaging, the way this politics is going, if it continues, I don't see the reason why APC will return in power come 2027 if they don't have any plan of massive rigging. if they will allow the votes to count. That's what I'm saying. Both El Rufai, P2B, Atiku, and their cohorts, they should pressure on electoral reform. They should pressure on electoral reform.
Right.
If not electoral reform, everything they're doing will come to nothing in 2027.
Talking about the oppositions, I think last week, was it last week, we read that paper that they were moving for a new party.
Yes, yeah.
Please, I'd really like to hear your opinion on this, because we were talking, and me, I had, my own opinion had been one thing. I said, if it's the same people, we're not moving anywhere. So long as it's the same group of people, but I don't know if I'm missing something, so I want to know your opinion.
No, there's hope. There's a sort of, yes, the same people. What
exactly would having a new party do to help us?
Okay, it's somehow not all that easy to use an existing registered political party. It's not easy because already they have their own manifesto. Already they have people who have sponsored its registration. And as I'm talking to you now, they are accusing APC and Mr. President for trying to run a one-party system. So even this Labour Party, they have a hand in what is happening in Labour Party. So allegedly, okay, they have a hand in what's happening in PDP. True Weekend. So they have a hand in so many other major political parties that you can use now, because the coalition must be distilled into a political party at the end of the day. There is nothing like coalition. They can't go into election with coalition of Nigerian politicians. No, it's not a political party. The electoral law say you must belong to a political party before you conduct any election or before you vie for any position. So all these their coalition activities must be narrowed down to an existing registered political party. And if they do a new one, putting into consideration the political atmosphere in Nigeria, if they do a new one, they will stand in a better position to appoint who will be their leaders, so that there will not be people who have already been compromised by APC or Tinubu. So they want to set up ADA, appoint who will be there. You know the importance of a party chairman. You know the importance of party delegates. You know the importance of where someone comes from when election comes. So all these things are very, 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 very important. So on a very
let's wrap this question that is troubling me. I don't know, I just want well, I'm not trying to. What would your prediction in Nam's case? What would you predict? What do you see by that July?
No, by every political and legal if he will come out victoriously in his case. I had followed the case. I've studied most of the things that the state tendered as their evidence. You understand? It doesn't hold water. If the law will be interpreted in the eyes of fairness, the case will be in favor of Nnamdi Kanu. See, he will come out. But the only delay is that if they go on appeal and also decide to keep him in incarceration while appealing against the judgment of the Federal High Court. That's just the problem I'm going to have, because he needs his freedom. He needs his freedom. He needs his freedom. The Igbo people need his freedom. The current political atmosphere in Nigeria now needs his freedom. You understand? So he should be set free. He should be set under normal circumstances. He should be attending to this trial from his house or anywhere he is. He can come in and attend this trial. But they have not respected his fundamental human right, and they have abridged it to a very, high degree, to the extent that I know it's not just legal, it's highly political. Nnamdi Kanu's case is highly political. So I pray that if the case goes on the way it has commenced, you can see the where the current judge have expedited actions and things are moving. They were like taking adjournment like every three weeks, every two weeks when the trial was going on. Yeah. And as Nnamdi Kanu is about to open his defense, I believe that he will also maintain that tempo so that before August, the verdict will be given and everybody will know his fate. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Barrister. Thanks for having me. This was power packed.
Amazing.
Thank you. That was Barrister Chidi Ujatumba, a human rights lawyer and the CEO Ujatumba and Company. Up next on the AM Weekend Show is our fitness segment. I and Ogochukwu visited the gym and with Coach Peter. Just brace up, but most importantly, take your position so you can join us with our routines. We'll be right back. Good morning again, guys. You're welcome to our fitness segment on the AM Weekend Show, broadcasting live from the city of Enugu State on Afia TV. We're right here at All Hills Gym with Coach Peter, who's going to be showing us what routines he has for us today. Please just take your position because we have a very, very amazing routine coming your way, so you can work out and stretch those muscles and be fit. Let's be like that. Morning. How are you doing?
Fine.
Okay, what do you have for us today?
Today we have Tabata. Tabata exercise.
Tabata.
Yes.
Yes. It looks like you already know what it is.
Like the cabinet is cardiovascular.
Okay.
You don't have to don't do any movement. Like there's this way we do it. So but let's say I'll be doing squats. You'll be doing something like this.
Okay.
At the front of the out of the easy. So once you get stop, now you come over here, and I'll go back to the side. So I'll come over here, you come over the side. You come over,
We'll just be rotating.
So now look at the movement. So I'll go like I'll shoot from the left.
So me, I'll come where? Where you were? Okay. And she will come here. Okay. You said my own is what again? Okay. Okay. I'll go over this one. All right, let's go. I think we should face us a little more. Yeah. Yeah. Guys, it's another Saturday, and of course we're right here at the gym with Coach Peter, who is going to be showing us our routine for today. As we always say, it's very necessary to work out. So you go out on Mondays, Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursdays. Some of you don't have time during the week, so Saturday is a good time for you to work out, and that's why we're here bringing you this amazing routine. So just take your position and let's begin. Coach Peter.
Good morning, Diva.
How are you doing?
Fine.
Good to see you. You look bright today.
Yes, that's what I said.
Thanks to Jim.
Yeah, very proud.
We're trying to be like you. I mean, so what do you have for us today?
Okay, today I want us to work on our
core. You see what I'm seeing here?
Until we reach the side of
Ogochukwu, what's up? So I'm seeing we have these things here. What's it for?
Okay, and this is called stepper. Yes, of course, it's called stepper. It's used for multiple things in the gym. Okay. You can use it for aerobics, both me for cardio exercise. But I'm very good at improvising, so I tend to use everything I see in the gym for whatever particular exercise I want to do.
Okay.
You understand? So today we're going to use the stepper for our abs workout, our core workout rather. So let's.
So for those at home, what could they possibly use? Chairs, stools?
Okay, we use the chair, little chair.
Okay, you guys can use a chair, like a small stool.
Kitchen stool, yeah.
Yeah, kitchen stool. What else?
You can even use that at your bed.
Or your staircase too, right?
Staircase.
Okay, bed as well.
You can use the first stair now, the last stair.
But yeah, the last one.
So let's go.
All right.
Are you ready?
Yeah, we are sure.
Are you sure you're ready? So let's.
Not sure I'm ready, but I'm ready.
Let's get there. Let's go.
Okay.
So whatever you're doing, just going to see. Let's go. One. Pick it up. 2, 3, 4. 3, go. 4, go. 5, go. 6, that's it. 7, good. 8, pick it up. Up. 9, stop. 10, and this. Okay, good. You ready? Let's go. Good. 8, 9.
Oh, I almost thought I was the only person. I wanted to say, am I the person that is not strong among us? Which one?
Let's go. Take your legs up. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Now this exercise, when you're doing it, unless what is it? When you're doing this exercise, you need to be very focused. You need to be very focused. Yes, you need to get your front right, your posture. Your body has to be straight. Your back has to be straight. You need to take your back in such a way whereby you don't have to feel pain in your So let's stretch on this. It's massage your tummy to avoid cramps. Some people who are not used to this exercise, so when they feel cramp, they feel like something's about to fall from the bed. Just something's about to fall from the bed. So just the exercise. So what you need to do at that point is massage. Massage.
Anybody can do this. All right. Okay, the next. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. We go. Let's. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Guys, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, what's the next? Let's go. You're doing it now. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Let's go to mountain climb. Weekend Show. We just had our newspaper review with Barrister Chidi. And like I said earlier on the show, we are going to be crossing over to Ijoma Luke, who is currently at Holy Ghost in Enugu State. A particular group approved by the government is hosting Debe Nugo Ocha. You know, today happens to be sanitation. So we'll be crossing over to find out how the sanitation is going on over there. Good morning, Ijoma.
Question, Mr. Please, will this initiative continue or is just a one-time thing?
Yes, it will continue. It has come to stay. The Enugu Ocha has come to stay, just like the name implies. Enugu is not ending anytime soon. Enugu is a permanent thing. So the Enugu Ocha is something that has come to exist. You understand? So there is a sustainability plan for the Enugu Ocha. So the Enugu Ocha is an initiative, community-driven initiative. It is not something somebody can just do on its own. So if you watch how it is, if everybody are responsible for their waste in their environment, do you understand? You see, there will not be littering of environment. So we encourage everybody, be responsible for your waste. Do you understand? So if you see the hotel people, the business owners, the bus drivers, if everybody are able to manage their waste, you will see that a whole lot of things will put in place. But the basic thing is that we've come to support the good governance of Peter Ndubisi Mba in Enugu State. He's doing a lot. But the only thing the community members can do is to support him.
Hello, I'm here with the convener of Dobe Enugu Ocha. You guys looking really healthy and nice. So tell me, sir, what's your name, please?
My name is Ugwagbo Paul Henry Jr.
Yeah. Okay, so you're the convener of Dobe Enugu Ocha, right? Yes. If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so tell me, what was the drive or what was the initiative for you to like push for a Dobe Enugu Ocha?
Okay. Thank you so much for this question. Over time, we've seen the good work of Peter Ndubisi Mba in Enugu State. He's doing a whole lot of things to support a whole lot of things. So we now look and we say, why wouldn't Enugu be clean to support the good governance? So the initiative now came to keep Enugu State clean. So when you said the Ben Enugu Ocha in Igbo, the translation is keep Enugu State clean. So that is it. So it's just to support the good governance of our governor in the state. That is just the drive. So that we support him.
Okay, just to support. Are doing here. It's so beautiful to see that we're working out with music too. I mean, that's so nice.
Yeah.
I want to ask you one important question. Mr. Please, will this initiative continue or is just a one-time thing?
Yes, it will continue. It has come to stay. The Enugu Ocha has come to stay, just like the name implies. Enugu is not ending anytime soon. Enugu is a permanent thing. So the Enugu Ocha is something that has come to exist. You understand? So there is a sustainability plan for the Enugu Ocha. So the Enugu Ocha is an initiative, community-driven initiative. It is not something somebody can just do on its own. So if you watch how it is, if everybody are responsible for their waste in their environment, do you understand? You see, there will not be littering of environment. So we encourage everybody, be responsible for your waste. Do you understand? So if you see the hotel people, the business owners, the bus drivers, if everybody are able to manage their waste, you will see that a whole lot of things will put in place. But the basic thing is that we've come to support the good governance of Peter Ndubisi Mba in Enugu State. He's doing a lot. But the only thing the community members can do is to support him, and we see what can we do to support his governance to keep Enugu State clean.
Thank you.
Enugu.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's going to be a continuous. I'm so happy it's going to be a continuous because I want to see more music and more people walking on the street. It's really nice to see this beautiful environment. Thank you so much, Mr. Dube. Thank you. Thank you for that, please. Hello, sir. What's your name?
My name is Udichi Chukode.
So, you're the assistant convener for this event, right?
Yeah, for the Benugu Ocha, assistant convener for the Benugu Ocha.
Tell me, what does the Benugu Ocha mean to you? What does it mean to you?
Okay, the Benugu Ocha means cleaning environment. It means keeping Enugu clean. To avoid indiscriminate waste disposal. To avoid throwing waste from a moving vehicle. To avoid dumping waste by the roadside. So we encourage people, we sensitize the general public to ensure that they package their waste properly and also to keep it at the place it's supposed to be. That's the summer dumpster, designated one within the states. So if you look around, you see we are now in this is Holy Ghost roundabout Enugu. We are here to sensitize the people, also to encourage them to package their waste very well and to also use the designated summer dump site to dispose their waste.
It's really a beautiful thing I see you people doing here. It's so encouraging people to pack up their waste and dump it properly. I'm so happy. If you get the best, come on, Enugu State. Don't worry. The Benugu Chakri. The Benugu. You've heard from him. Keep Enugu clean. Keep your houses clean, so we could have like a better environment for ourselves. And you can see, you said something about the governor of Enugu State, which I'm really proud of. So please, if you're not keeping your house clean, better dobe your house or chaki, dobe Enugu clean. I'm so happy to be with you guys. Thank you so much. And let's keep Enugu clean because I would love to join too.
Thank you, Afia team.
As you can see, we're keeping Enugu clean, the Enugu Ocha initiative. As you can, I'm with the convener. He's working too. So don't think he's not doing anything. Everybody's hands is on deck. I'm really grateful to be here, and it's a good thing. So you know what the initiative says, right? Keep your houses clean, keep everywhere clean, so we could have a better environment for ourselves. Thank you very much, and see ya.
So we encourage everybody to join your hands to keep Enugu State clean.
Yeah.
Debe Enugu Ocha. Maka Enugu bu Enugu anye. Debe Enugu Ocha.
Actually, you've heard from him already. Dobe Enugu Ocha. Keep your houses clean so we can keep our community clean. Very healthy community, each and every one of us. Thank you.
Solve.
Exactly.
And like I said before we went on a break, like I said earlier, we're going to be having a conversation. We'll be looking at discipline versus punishment. This has been an ongoing conversation for the longest time. You know, some people believe in soft parenting and, you know, treating children with soft hand. And then there are people who say, spare the rod and spoil the child. If you don't punish them, if you don't flog them, if you don't do this, if you don't do that, they're not going to, you know, they will not turn out well. And we also see these things in school too. There are schools that flogging has been banned. We've seen the whole dynamic and we just don't even know which one works and which doesn't work. So we're going to be having that conversation, and joining us this morning is Ndidi Duru, the founder, Talk to Solve. Welcome, Ma.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You look very beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, so before we get into the conversation, just a little bit about Talk to Solve. What's it about?
Okay, basically what we do is manage deviant behaviors in school. We create awareness. We go from school to school, communities, villages, churches, addressing young people on behaviors that are unacceptable. Sometimes we talk about bullying, peer pressure, truancy, just anything you can think of that can destroy the future of a child. Those are the things we create awareness on.
Wow, that is beautiful. I haven't heard of this before. You're just an independent body going to different schools, addressing different behaviors and creating awareness. That is really beautiful. I mean, perfect guest for this conversation.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll now get into it. The first question I want to ask you is can you help us differentiate between discipline and punishment? Let's start there.
Okay, so basically, punishment is also a form of discipline, okay? But then there is negative discipline and positive discipline, okay? Punishment has been adjudged to be negative punishment, a negative discipline. They believe that, or generally it is believed that punishment is a penalty for wrongdoing. And it is spontaneous, is reactive. Okay? You do something bad. Chidera, I said no noise in this house, and you just made noise. Bah! You give a knock. So what have you done? It's discipline. You want Chidera to stop making noise. By knocking Chidera, what you have done is to give penalty for wrongdoing, because you've told Chidera, stop talking. If you talk, for every action, there is consequence. So the consequence for that noise is what? The knock. Okay? So it is meant to teach Chidera to stop talking. That is for punishment. Then when we talk about discipline actually, which is the positive discipline, it's a corrective measure. Okay? What it actually does is to guide you, to help you understand the consequences of your action, to help you take accountability, and to stop the possibility of doing that in the future. It's not reactive, it's proactive, and it is futuristic. So we're not just looking at you keeping quiet right now. We're looking at you understanding why you should be quiet, the consequences of not being quiet, what it does to you, what it does to others. So that's the difference. Why punishment is immediate, it's spontaneous, it's reactive. Sometimes the punishment you're given for a wrong behavior is unconnected with what you did. So I give you an instance. You're making noise in the classroom and your teacher walks in. SS1A, you've been making noise. All of you to the field. You are going to cut the grass from the left to the right. The grass you're cutting really doesn't have business.
Tell you anything
Do you
about
understand?
making noise.
So that's actually the difference.
Okay.
One is proactive, one is reactive, one is immediate, one is futuristic. One is guiding you towards understanding the consequences and possibly not doing it in the future. The other one is about stopping it at the moment.
That is quite deep.
Yes, very deep. So does it mean in essence, you're trying to say that punishment does not change behavior long term?
Okay, so punishment can actually change behavior depending on the individual. So there are some people you instill fear in and they don't do it again. I can't talk, she's going to knock me. And when she sees you, she's not talking. She sees another teacher, she's not talking, because the assumption is everyone knocks for every talk. And then for some people, it's like, okay, you're just going to knock me, so here we go. And I'm back to my talking. Do you understand? For some people, the knock does not pass the message. I don't understand. Why do I have to keep quiet? What's the knock for? For them, it doesn't end anything. It doesn't solve. So sometimes these things have to do with individuals. The discipline is not flawless. Okay, it may be better than punishment, but sometimes punishment has its own advantages. even though it has more disadvantages.
Honestly, I mean, I don't know why it feels so new. Like, this feels like a very fresh perspective to the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's now making sense to me because back then when I was young, so there are certain things I do. First of all, as a kid, I felt highly misunderstood.
Yeah.
Especially by my immediate family. You know, maybe my siblings, and I was the last one. You know how last ones can be. We're amazing people, by the way.
Yeah,
so,
I know that.
So the thing is, we are bolder than every other person.
Okay.
We're more fearless than every other person. So I will tell you what even my elder sister will not tell you.
Yeah.
I will point out your ad. So there's this thing about respect, being not speaking out, you know, not talking, you know. I had to learn it. I had to learn the positive side of it while growing, and I, you know, got the balance. But at the time when I was young, when I'm trying to communicate something, say something bad happened, and I'm saying this thing is see what happened. I'm trying to make you see what happened, and then you now get it wrong, and then you now beat me, or maybe say I was actually really wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but then you flog me or you inflict pain on me. I used to sit down and I think to myself. I said, I would usually ask myself, is your intention to hurt me or to correct me?
Yeah.
I used to feel that way a lot. So now that you've mentioned this, it now feels like indeed punishment is actually to hurt the child. And it also makes sense to say that it now depends on the child. There are people who, for fear of hurt, would withdraw. And then there are others like us back then. We know they fear. We know they fear hurt. So we shall know that this is what is going. That's the most you can do.
To do and
I mean, it's such a vast dynamic that I think parents need to really understand. But now let's move on.
Okay.
So why do many schools still rely heavily on punishment?
Okay. Let's just say that traditionally, that's how we were raised. Okay. Our parents half the time. Listen, discipline involves a lot of hard work. How many parents have that time? Let me give you an instance of what I mean. I don't want anyone to be late in this class. As soon as I enter the class, everyone gets seated. If you're late, if I enter the class before you, you will stand outside and I'll flog you. And then you walk into the class. IK, Chelsea, why are you not here? All of you out. In fact, before you go out, come here, I will flog you. And you flog IK, and the class members are watching, you know, the cane, each one. The ones that are scared are like, oh my God, I will never come late. And the strong ones are like, well, like about 6 strokes, I can contain it, and that's fine. Okay? And then the weak ones cry and they go outside. I was just flogged. And the outside, the strong ones are like, waiting, no shaking. You understand? Now, what you don't know is, in some cases, you may have taught them that lateness is bad. But again, you can do better. Because sometimes when it is properly communicated, these students don't do badly. So you can say, Chelsea and Uzo, let me see you in the office. And they come, they sit down. Chelsea, do you know it is disrespectful to let me get into the class before you? It shows me that you're not interested in the studies. And may I ask, why are you uninterested? Could it be that I don't explain it very well? Could it be that you find it difficult appreciating what has been taught? Why do you not, do I come off as unfriendly? What's the problem? Is this a bad habit? Is this some form of peer pressure where they're telling you that you're baddest? What could be the problem? Let's talk about it. Now, there's no problem. It's just that I kind of hate maths. Oh, that's good. What do you hate about it? The calculation, the teacher, the teaching process. What makes you... Because I noticed you've been coming late, okay? It's not a one-time thing. So tell me what the problem is. And he talks. In the process of having that conversation, you have understood, because behavior is a form of communication. That's what people don't know. So what has happened, if he's a habitual late goer, it could be escapist. There's something called escapism in children. Coming late means disenchantment. I don't like this class. I don't like my teacher. I don't like, it's communication.
Okay.
Because it's habitual. So you can actually take that advantage to advise him. When you don't come early, I assume you don't value my presence. You don't want to learn. But now I know what the problem is. Okay? I'm going to work with you. In the meantime, there has to be consequences for every ill behavior.
I was waiting for that.
You came late, and as a deterrent to others, you will have to do something for me, okay? I will keep you outside. You will stand all through the lecture. Why am I keeping you outside? Because I want to teach you that it is not okay to come late to the class. So you will stand there. It's uncomfortable, but just know that the discomfort is for your own good. If I make you stand for 1 hour, next time you won't want to come late. And I also take my time to teach you math in a way you will understand.
Wow.
Now, this is what our parents don't have time for. Because the slap is a spiritual and a physical. What are you talking about? But I tell you the truth. If you can take these pains to talk to the student about this, especially the growing ones, you must have said a lot to the child. The child goes back, okay, understanding the reason for the consequences of his act. Recall you said, sometimes you were beaten. You didn't even understand what the beating was for. But now you know why this discipline came, okay? Now you know what it causes, the impact of what you're doing. So what's going to happen? The next time you don't want to stay outside, she has addressed your fears, which is maths, not understanding maths. She has also addressed your character, which is escapism, when you should be around, and irresponsibility.
Yes.
So now you know better. You would advise yourself, self-regulation, you know, self-discipline. Okay, I have to be in the class. Why? Because it looks like a slight to the other person, and I don't want to be insulted.
Wow.
You know?
Discipline is so, like, somebody and discipline me now. Like, I feel like doing something wrong now.
So that I'll sit down and talk to you.
If this is the way it's sweet.
No,
sounds really sweet.
This is somebody that understands this whole thing, and it takes time.
It's not easy to do this. I am talking, but I know that sometimes I lose it, and I'm on TV, so let me be.
This is where I want to come in. So, can discipline, the positive type of discipline, and punishment coexist?
Of course.
Yes, that's what she just explained.
And yes, like I'm asking, you know, I've seen situations where I've heard parents say that if you leave, it's important to use the two at most, not really on the same time, but use the two where there are times you don't have to explain, just have to punish the child. Then later on you can do the explanation, because it makes you come off as soft and they can take advantage of you. Does it happen? I
disagree with you. See, communication is everything. Communication is everything. If I sit down with my children or the children I teach or your nieces and all that, in the process of gisting with them, you're teaching them. Okay, we don't equip our children with social skills. For instance, if I sit down with them and they are gisting and one person is yelling, assuming they are playing with toys, and give me my toy, no, you give me, you can't be serious, how dare you, blah, blah, blah. What do you do at that moment? The African parents that we used to be, we used to experience, we beat the two of you, okay? But now that we are all aware, what do? You let them. Don't tell me this. When they are done, you could be like, okay, Chinasa, what have you achieved? You know, I was going to take my door, blah, 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 blah. Can I ask two of you a question? Okay. Are there other means of resolving this other than yelling at each other? Make them take responsibility for it. Yes, I think so. What do you think went wrong here? I was forceful. Were you supposed to be forceful? No, I was not supposed to be. Did the yelling actually solve any problem? What did you notice the yelling did? I think it intensified our quarrel, okay? So what do you think you would have done differently? Just say sorry and beg. Oh, beautiful. So that's how you solve problems. What have I done? You know, if it's in punishment, it means I have told you how to do things. Do you understand? I'm responsible for your decisions and actions. But in discipline, I give you the power to take, I just guide you. Do you understand? I give you that power to take a decision and to understand the consequences without imposing it on you. So it's more like what the Bible calls reasoning with you. Do you understand?
Okay. Then after reasoning, the punishment comes.
Oh yes, because you have to understand, it has to be made clear to you why I'm doing this. Just like the punishment you talked about. I had this teacher in school. Before she flogs you, she tells you, you know you did what I don't like. I have asked you not to write in this manner, and I told you that if you write in this manner, I will flog you. So I need you to understand that I love you, but there has to be consequences for your action. And then you show, and she will give you a flog. And in the flogging, she'll be telling you, I love you, and you become a person, blah, blah, blah. Many people don't subscribe to beating children, but I didn't mind because I knew it was coming from a good place. I was warned. So now I have to pay the price for my actions.
You had taken responsibility.
Of your actions.
Now that is very, very amazing. So moving on, thank God we talked about flogging because I was going to talk about it.
Question.
This one has caused problems.
Yeah.
This one has, I mean, we've seen cases where a teacher flogs a student, the whole back everywhere, you know, and then we've also seen cases where this reasoning together does not work. You know, so what is your, first off, what is your take on flogging specifically? And then secondly, when you're dealing with children you cannot reason with. I have seen children like that.
Of course.
I'm sure you have too.
Of course.
When you're dealing with children you cannot reason with. What then is the best approach towards solving their deviant behaviors?
Okay. So about flogging, that's controversial. And from the Western perspective, which is what we are now adopting, they believe you have no reason to beat a child. Okay, they believe it's cruelty. But where we grew up, here in Africa, we believe is a form of training. It's actually a deterrent to ill behavior. Okay? So, but I would say if it was actually that bad, our parents wouldn't have turned out the way they were, and we wouldn't have turned out the way we are.
Okay.
I think we're responsible today. I think we're responsible, and I don't think we deviated. I don't think so. And I think we're people the society can be proud of. So that is not bad. However, where I think it gets bad is when you do it to the point of dehumanizing a child. Do you understand?
Yes.
So I remember being flogged as a child, and I don't remember being flogged to the extent that I bled. I don't remember being flogged to the extent that I fainted. You could have like 5 strokes of cane and all that. The essence of the pain, the essence of the flogging is to inflict pain that will act as a deterrent to further ill behavior. So if you're flogged at the buttock, at the hands or something, you remember that pain, okay? And you don't want to do that again. Now, I do know that some people will say there are better ways of doing this. Keep communicating with a child. Now, there are some children that don't have that level of fear in them. You see, even with that cane, nothing changes. Even with the advice, the support and all that, it still wouldn't do much. At that point in time, you will need the services of a professional who will, maybe a shrink or something, who will take their time to manage this child. People like that are usually exceptional, okay? Most children, what works for them is either the discipline or punishment. One of these must work. In fact, if you're patient, even that child you think is so bad, the thing is that we're a very impatient set of people, and we don't understand that behavior is communication. If we're patient and understand that behavior is communication, even the child we call very bad, we can manage. We can manage. The thing is, sometimes the right person to talk to this child is not there yet. I give you an instance. One of the schools I visited, they were telling me about this student who happens to be one of their best, but as rude as hell. You know, she challenges everybody, has no friends, nothing. And when I saw the student, one thing I noticed, just like you, she happens to be the last child. happens to be very assertive, happens to be bold, you know, that kind of child. So my first time of actually meeting this child, I said, hi, my name is Ndidi Duru. She said, I can't hear you. Do you mind speaking up?
No. I wouldn't dare.
And I said, oh, my name is Ndidi Duru, the founder of Talk to Solve. She said, okay. I said, what's your name? I'm going to make up a name to protect her identity. Chidera. I said, oh, okay. Chidera, what's your surname? Ugu. I said, oh. So I came to meet you. I've heard about you, and I know we can bond. Why do I need to bond with anybody? I said, well, maybe you're about to meet a new friend or something. I don't need a friend. That's what she was telling me. And inside of me, I was like, oh, wow, that's a bold one.
Looks like she's already on the defense.
Yeah.
Like, she sounds very defensive.
Yes.
And I think it has a lot to do with the approach that other people had used earlier.
And I made sure not to talk about anything serious that day. I said, tell me about yourself. I want to play cards with you. I don't play cards. I said, that's fine, I play, but can you play for my sake? I said, what? Doing left. I said, come around. And then the next time I visited, it was no longer, do you mind speaking up? It was, oh my God.
You again?
And I said, yes, did you do it again? How are you? Said, fine. I said, okay. How was classes? And she was loosening up a bit. I know what you came to do. They told you I'm a bad student. Did they also tell you that I'm a brilliant student? I said, let's talk about your brilliance. I saw your grades, and we're going from there. I built friendship with her. And I said, I noticed that the first time I came to meet you, you felt I had heard something about you. Do you know the truth? I heard. Guess what? I don't believe it. I'm actually meeting a sweet person. I think you're nice. I think all these things, you're putting up a front. So if you don't mind, disarm yourself and let's talk. And she said, okay, I don't know why if I talk, they want to shut me down just like my dad does.
Oh, dear.
I said, okay, go ahead. And she was going on and on and on and on. And by the time she was done, I saw that the communication was actually, why can't I be me? Why can't I say what I want to say? Why do I have to? I deal with this at home and then I come to school again. I can't be myself. And I started talking to her about communication.
You know,
yes, to me, as an instance, if somebody, what call me? Fee. Even makes it very, it triggers denial in the person. But if you said, so I kept my book here when you left, I think you kind of took my book, can I have it? And the person gives it to you. You're like, I don't believe you stole my book. I don't think so.
This takes a lot of intentionality, a lot of
that's the word.
Slow process. I think it's not everybody that has that strength at time to, take.
That's why I said,
that's the thing, patience.
That's why I said discipline involves a lot of patience that our parents don't have. Imagine who has to go to work and you're expecting her to say, why I want you to hurry to the vehicle is that they believe if I slap you, you rush to the car.
If I shout at you.
Yeah, you don't have to understand until we get back from work. If our son will even come back and doze off, It's only the intentional ones that will be
They'll
like,
come back.
okay, so I gave you a knock before because you were dragging, you were taking your time. I didn't want you to waste my time. And they could be humble enough to say, I'm sorry for hitting you, but don't do it again.
Well, Nigerian parents. Anyways, we have just 1 minute. We have just 1 more minute before this segment is up. So briefly, I mean, she has said all there is to be said, but I'd just like you to now talk to, what would you say to parents? What would you say to parents and teachers in 1 minute concerning
Patience, patience, patience. When you're handling children, patience, it's not an easy thing. And you have to be intentional about this. You must understand that behaviors are communicated. Asking they are how it hurts and all that. Okay, we call them tangible gain pursuers. What do you do with them? Patience. They have impulsive character. So as a teacher, be prepared to equip your students with social skills, with communication skills. Explain to them consequences and guide them towards a change. You know, don't always take the decision for them. Okay, allow them to become accountable, responsible, self-regulation, self-discipline. Again, patience, patience, patience.
Patience is the new word.
And that's my name, actually.
Indeed, that's true. I mean, it fits you perfectly.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. This was
so
very
much,
insightful.
yes.
This was very
Genuine.
mind-blowingly expository.
I
Sort
think
of.
we need more awareness on this topic.
Yeah, we'll
Instead of
probably
persons
talk
need
more
to
about it.
understand it.
Yeah.
Yes. There is so much to this that we need to, let people know more.
Yeah.
about. Thank
But,
you so much.
sorry, I just have to add that punishment is not totally bad. Just to make that clear.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much. That was Mrs. Ndidi Dero, the founder, Talk to Solve. And if you want next on our own boss, I mean, is a lot being our own boss. And I mean, we need to deep dive into the reality after this short break, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the and had a conversation about deviant behaviors amongst students, and we were weighing which is best between discipline and punishment. A very, very interesting segment. But right now we're going to be talking about small business ownership, the struggles, the roles, the reality of it, basically. And joining us for that conversation is Roseanne Munachi, CEO, Muna Cocktails. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Serial business owner, as I always call you. How is business?
No, that says a lot. Taking a deep breath before you now say it.
My steady answer now is God is good.
God is good.
All the time.
God is good. You're not speaking by faith. You're actually saying the truth. Anyway, God is good anyways. But how is business itself?
Honestly, I would say tough, like very tough. It's as if every day you wake up to new skies, new challenges that you have to face, and then new trend that you just have to get into or you get out of the business. So it's not been funny so far.
Okay, so since we are starting on this note, we're establishing that it's not funny. Can you now tell me why people tend to glamorize business? You know, whenever somebody wants to start, you know, CEO, there's this obsession. I want to be a CEO of this. I want to be a CEO of that, especially in our time right now. Why does it seem to be glorified? Why does it seem to be glamorized?
It's because they've not really seen what is in it. When I first started, I used to do this thing that when I go to events, introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Roseanne Munachi. I'm the CEO of Muna Empire. Now, there's a way you would tell me introduce yourself. Just tell you, hi, my name is Roseanne Munachi. That's just it. Because, you know, in the beginning, it's all fun. Like, everything is just going well. Your friends are patronizing you. Then, the reality has not kicked in yet. That these people are not going to be there every day. They're not going to be buying from you steady. No, that beginning, everybody just wants to support you. It's not as if they won't keep up, but that 100% bought from me in the beginning as your friends doesn't mean they will continue buying. So that's excitement in the beginning is just because the beginning looks, you know, all cool. But when the challenges really comes in is maybe when you start handling staffs, when you realize that your friends are no longer maybe there steady and you now have to look for new customers.
New customers.
Because you have to keep in trend. When, let me use my business for instance, as a cocktail person, you might buy this dispenser today for 100,000 naira, just for instance, and then in 2 days you realize that that dispenser is no longer in trend. You have to like either keep it aside or buy a new one, or you have to buy a new one to like merge it, because everybody booking you, there's this thing about aesthetic presentation in my line of business. They want to see that vibe, they want to see that content that you're creating, they want to see that beautiful setup, thank you, they want to see that beautiful setup. So if you can't keep up with that again, that's when that introducing yourself as a CEO becomes, it's no longer the fun part. It's not like
Comes to be shameful.
Yeah, like, are you really a CEO? Like, are you really doing that thing that other people? You start asking yourself questions. So I feel in the beginning it's fun, it's cool because everybody is there, but everybody doesn't really stay till the end.
Okay. Now you said something about jumping on trends from time to time.
Yes.
Now, is there a place for starting with what you have, you know, in this line of business, or even in CEO, in entrepreneurship? Generally, is there a place of starting with what you have? Because we've seen that from time to time. Let's say you're starting and you have just little and you're doing that little, and it seems like nobody's paying attention to you. Nobody's willing to help you grow because you're not where every other person is. So is there a place of starting with what you have and growing?
There is a place for starting with what you have. I did start with what I had. I didn't have enough when I started. In fact, I used to watch the video of my first table setup and then I laugh at myself. It's just so empty. And then this tea dispenser, I think that was the only two things I had then. But there is this thing about starting with what you have. A lot of people will not believe in you. There's some people that will feel like, I know her, but this is not what I want. And they will still leave you to go and pay millions to other people just because they have that presentation. It's going to be hard. If it's whether you will get there, you will. But it's not going to be easy.
It's going to be very slow.
It will be very slow, exactly. It's like, okay, me, I didn't focus on my setup. when I really started, it's as if I forgot about my setup. I don't video my setup. I focused more on people. I tasked myself on getting a better phone. So what I do is I make content of people drinking my cocktails. It's always about the people. Like, you don't even get to see what my table is. So now people are not seeing my setup. They don't know what my setup looks like. They're seeing happy people taking cocktails, making video, you know, reviews and everything. And then it got me all the December booking I got. Like last year December, I was busy. Even on my birthday, I had to cover 2 weddings. So now I put all this money together, and now I got some things for the business. So I was like, let's say I got better in the setup thing. That was when I now started videoing my setup. Yes, I can now tell you, okay, I'm making a video and then I'm videoing my shaker set, I'm videoing my dispenser, my glass cup. As I did last year, I didn't even have up to 20 glass cups. So, but it was just me improvising. I'm still giving the people what they want, exactly. But now I am still like, yes.
Matter. Now I've observed something.
Yes.
Because I also run a small business. So I've observed that there's been, okay, let me not really use myself.
Okay.
There's this general notion. I've had my fair share of experience, but there seems to be a general impression that, of course, to make money, you need money.
Okay.
And if we're talking about starting with what we have,
then
it's important we really look at this thing. I started with what I have. I know a couple other business owners who started with what they have. And at some point, you will just hook.
Yeah.
You will just be stuck somewhere. Because what you have has finished.
That part.
I mean, when I'm saying this figuratively, but you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
That money you started with was not even enough capital.
Yeah.
It couldn't get you equipment.
Yes.
Say as a baker now, I remember starting with pots. I remember starting baking with pots and gas and normal fire. You put it and find your way around it.
Yeah.
And a point came where if I now get a bigger order than what can contain my pot,
you'll be choked.
I'll say no, I cannot take it. There are other, you know how baking can be. It's just so complex. There are different angles to it. Or someone wants this and you don't have the equipment for it. Or someone wants that and you're just stuck at that point.
And it makes you look unserious.
Exactly. Makes you look unserious. And what she said about not being so bold about your business, because, I mean...
That's the moment where you stop introducing yourself as...
Your phone is not even clear to start with. What do you want to snap? Okay, you make a perfect work. Me now that is into cooking now, my food is sweet. I know it's delicious.
Yeah.
But...
I can attest it.
How are we going to eat until we taste it before
you know it's sweet?
So we need to even for things. I would put it what
made the as that.
Hear that wanting.
Stopped believing it, because why I stopped believing it
the past, but now
it doesn't work now, because now to even get a reasonable iPhone now, you're spending 200,000 naira.
People's tastes have gone high.
Yes, because everybody wants to see that perfect content.
Aesthetics matter.
Do you know it's like they care about the content more than the food now.
More than the food.
Yes.
It's very...
The presentation is what they care about now. Nobody wants to know.
So this is that
maybe
social media has actually influenced.
It's taking over.
Wow.
So I feel money is important, and the reason why I made that post was I started small. Like I said, I don't video my setup. I video people, but at a point I used to, always feel like my setup should be better than this. But I think I liked my table. It was the first good thing I did for myself, because everybody now know that when you see Muna, you just see her table. But this year, I kind of, let's say, a certain amount of money entered my account, and then I went online. I placed some orders. There is this particular shaker that I have been dying to get, but I'm limited to Coblab. I mean, that's the one I could afford, right? So when I got the shaker, and I finished my setup on this last event I went to, I realized that there is a difference. There is something here that's... There's this feeling, exactly. And then before last year, even if you book me for 200 cups, I'll just pick one person and then we're going, or like I'll go with 2 people. But now, having up to 10 staffs, and then when you go to events, I even get to sit down and people are actually doing the setting up. And you know that is because you now have the money, or you're now bold enough to charge a client what could pay those people. Money still comes in. Because they cannot work for you for free. They are not coming to learn work. So money is extremely important in a business now. I don't know about before. I don't know about before, but now you need that money.
It really, really felt like we were being deceived. You know,
I think
because I heard that a lot. There were times I had to pitch my business to people, and as I'm pitching, they're telling me, you need to start with, oh God, do you know how long I've been on this thing?
You've been with
the last conversation I had, they told me, I really need you to steal the whole start with what you have thing. Okay. And it got to a point that I got pissed. I said, wait, let me just dissect this thing for you. And I started narrating the story of how I started and where we are.
And they're still not pleased.
There's no other what you have that is really.
And the thing is, we no longer get sponsors for business. You know, before you can meet people and tell them, okay, I want you to partner with me in business and this and this and this and that. What they are now looking at is, how far have you gone in that business?
Yes. Exactly.
And there's nobody's helping you.
How do you want to go far if you're not?
If everybody's and you know, when you go far, they will start coming. I know how many people that came this year to buy shares that they would like to. Don't worry, thank you. When I needed you people, you did not come. It's now that you now want to come and buy shares. Like this particular person, I was begging him, like, please, just okay. This is how we're going to do it. I'm going to meet my friend as a lawyer so that she will draft everything for me. So you buy share. This is how much I'll be paying you. Like I even went deep into learning about shares that time, just so I could. He has the money. This one is not like whether you're assuming that this person has the money. I know how many businesses he has invested in. You reach my turn. Don't worry, Muna. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'll get back to you.
Now, another thing, does it mean that people don't trust a certain kind of business?
They don't trust that you will grow. They believe that people give up in businesses these days. So they feel even if they invest, you know, if the business dies, their money is gone. So they don't trust that you will grow. To them, your growth is what they need to see first. Forgetting that
it's the
I'm coming to you so that you will help me grow. So that's where the problem is.
So it's a two-way thing. Both parties want to benefit.
Yes.
And it's quite sad for the business owner. And honestly speaking, if we want to look at things holistically, there are some businesses too that you can't really trust. Even them, they don't trust themselves. They don't really trust themselves. They can go in now, you know, they say the way you ask for something is different from paying back. There's this motivation they would have at the initial stage. And they will beg you, they will pitch, they will prove everything to you. But by the time you now, you know, they start to... And some of them, lack of knowledge could be the issue. But now, let's just, away from that, what would you say concerning... There's also this other narrative that when you're starting a business, at some point you have to do free work. To an extent, I believe it, but I don't know the limits. I need you to help us with that.
If that keep giving that I meet that I partnership a lot. I did this thing. I think at some point I also worked with Afia TV with that partnership level. If you check the cost of the things you're using, you wouldn't want to do it. But if you check the benefit, this thing is bringing you out. You want to take the risk. But aside from that, I don't do family members in business. You don't come to my shop. Even I pay for my bill. So if you're coming there, my staffs are attending to you. I am not. And I'm not giving you discount.
Wow.
Therefore, my friends, I do this thing. I would rather give you discount than give you free. If you can't take discount, don't come. Okay. Because I believe that a true friend will want to patronize you and not come to your shop and drink for free and then go home. If you're always going to have the mindset of coming to my bar to come and take free drink because Muna is there, you are wasting your time, because when you come, you will see that same Muna, I will drink, and you will see me giving them my ATM card, because I try to separate my shop from my life. Yeah. I've realized that me always drinking, at a point, the bill that I used to have at the end of the month is not funny, because I don't joke with my accounts. That's the only way I believe that, okay, I'm growing or I'm not growing. So if I could pay for my bill, then you're paying. Even my best friend is paying for her bill anytime she comes to my shop. So who is the friend that cannot pay?
I think like setting boundaries is very, very important.
It's very, very important.
Now, how do you handle pressure when your profit does not match the effort you put into a particular work?
That part, I think it only happened once, and I would say people are built differently. I just lock myself in a room, cry for 30 minutes. But what I do is I make sure that the next one pays for that last one.
I pity the next client.
No, I make sure that I try as much as I can. It's not as if maybe I'm going to go and overbill client or something. No. But I make sure that I reduce whatever expense I'm going to do on the next one, so that I can cover the last one, because none should be at loss. Then sometimes when that happens in shop, what I do is I make sure I sit with the staff, have a meeting, what's going on? The sales is not coming up. I just finished paying salary and I'm minusing the expenses, and then the money is gone. Do you understand? Then I sometimes do, okay, I'll give them a tax. Anybody that has the highest sales of the month will get so thing. You will see them becoming like active and then going to customers. You know,
just one to, or what are your last words, business owner?
I would say, as a business person, don't give up, don't stop. I always use myself as an example, because when I started my first business, which is dinner gown rental, I stayed for like a year without getting one single client. But I didn't stop. I continued. I made sure that I bring it to your face. There's something I always say. In the beginning of the year, I'll tell you, Muna is M-U-H-N-A. Remember it, because it will be in your face till December. And I'll make sure it's in everybody's faces. After that, I continue. Just one. Give you that.
Small business, okay, but inside.
And this business of buying and selling.
Okay.
So
it's still almost the same.
It's almost the same thing. You're doing something.
True, but I'm just working on, expanding to a large extent. So let's see how it goes.
That's pretty amazing. I think we've had a lot of motivation on this show today. Thank you so much. Your story is inspiring, and I hope that every other business owner out there who has watched this will be encouraged to not give up, to continue pushing. Eventually. I mean, I don't know what to say about the whole money thing, but you need money to make money.
You need money to make money.
You cannot start with what you have.
Still start with what you have, But I don't know how you're going to do it. At this point, I am as clueless as you, but trust the Lord. Pray. Anytime, when everyone was here, anytime we get to that point that we're stuck, just say pray. We'll go spiritual instantly.
We'll go spiritual, so because that's the way to solve it.
Because Nigeria, you can't depend on Nigeria, So work hard and pray. That is what the word I'm leaving with you. That was Roseanne Munachi, the CEO, Muna Empire, Muna Cocktails. Thank you once more for joining us.
You're welcome.
Up next on the AM Weekend Show is our social media trends with Ijem and Luke. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Guys, we are finally at the this is the final segment of the weekend show, and it hurts me. It hurts me, but I like to say that this should be like the most fun segment. I mean, we've talked about Nigeria's issues, we've talked about children's issues, we've talked about issues about business people. So, I mean, it's only right that we deep dive into social media, and joining us to have this segment, joining us to analyze, preview, and review. It's Ijoma Luke. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hi.
You're looking good. You're looking too good.
I mean, we're watching you, and you're
your
just,
energy,
I don't know, your energy is out of this world. What do you eat at night?
Very important.
What do you eat before waking up in the morning?
I don't eat. I feel really good getting my energy is good. Like, because the only reason why I was just hyped up, that, Holy Ghost now. You know how rowdy and it can be, right? So someone wouldn't just come up to you and like pick up something from your body, something like that. So I was a little, okay, let me just be nice and friendly with everybody around there. Because people were coming close to us, people were coming, all these random Agberuzi were coming close.
On a normal day, you just have very good vibes.
You think?
Energy.
Yeah, we think so, actually. Even the other time at Opera Square.
You think so too? You think so?
Okay, so I mean, so we don't spend too much time that we don't have. The first story, this is about Cubana Chief Priest. And let me just give us a background. Unfortunately, we don't have that video. But yeah, the background story is that this Kenyan lady has been calling him out. According to her, he impregnated her. He's the father of her child. So this has been as far back as 2022.
Wow.
She has consistently come on social media. So when she came at first, there'll be like a debate online.
Yeah,
is this woman saying the truth? Is she not saying the truth? So there was this long silence from Cubana Chief Priest. He didn't quite address it. I mean, he didn't address it early enough. So after a while, she went quiet too. She went quiet and it was almost like this lady is lying. And after a while again, she showed up again. So she's been, but from last year till now, she's been very consistent at this. She has been dragging him front, right, center, everywhere, dragging him to come and take responsibility. So at the time when she was asking him to come and take responsibility, nobody would just agree to come and take responsibility like that. So everybody was clamoring for a DNA test, at least on social media, all the keypad warriors. DNA test, don't come and be accusing a man, you know, until a DNA test is confirmed. We can now know how to go about it. And so sometime last year, she came out and was asking Cubana Chief Priest to come for a DNA test. And Cubana Chief Priest was not responding at first. Then at some point too, we saw him at a TV interview where he addressed it. He said what he thought about her. He denied it. He said he's not responsible. And he went on to say a lot of things about her. You know, he analyzed the issue from his own standpoint, and he's seen it that she's been manipulative. According to him, he had asked her to come down to Lagos. I don't really know what's with the who gets to come where, but that has been an issue. So she came back online recently, heavily now, and is asking him to come to Kenya. He has the money to do it, so, you know? So, but the general thing now is that it's looking like she is very fierce at what she's doing, and Cubana Chief Priest is not taking it seriously. So it's kind of leaving the impression that this woman there should be an atom of truth in what she's saying. But before we go through the comments, let me have your thoughts on it.
Celebrity lifestyle, and oh God, I'm tired of hearing, I have a baby here, I have a baby there, It's not something they do with Davido. I have a child for you, come for your child. I genuinely feel like it's a lie. Yeah, because if she was serious about it, why don't we have a picture of the baby?
We do.
I have a picture of the child.
Issue. A lot of people are saying the baby looks like Cubana Chief Priest. You saw the baby?
Yeah, I think
You've seen the baby? I've seen the baby.
The baby looks like him.
Then she
should come down to Nigeria for the DNA test. Why is she wanting him to be out there?
I think there was a time they were talking about bills too. He was saying, yes, I'm not quite sure, but that was sometime last year. Cubana Chief Priest was saying that if she really wants it, she should come. If you remember when there was a debate between, was it Cubana and Burna Boy? Burna Boy had to spend money for her to, so I don't know how that went down, but there's been this back and forth about it.
And it could be a lie.
But now she is saying that he should come down to Kenya. And personally, I'm starting to think that he should really just do it and clear his name.
It solves the problem. Do the test and know if this is your
Why don't you think so, though?
I think she should come. I feel like maybe, you know, this celebrity lifestyle, this public lifestyle, there could be like a backstory to it. There could be someone engineering her or paying her up to like, oh, come. I feel it could be detrimental to his life. Maybe when he gets there, they might try to like, you know, gang up and hit him or kill him or do something to him.
They can't possibly kill him because they're trying to get money from him.
They can't if that is the motive. And they wouldn't hurt him like that. And I think I understand the woman saying he should come over to Kenya because she's also trying to protect herself and the child. So I think since it's already in the public eyes, everything is going to happen.
What would he be doing with a Kenyan woman? Like,
Kenyan women beautiful.
I'm not saying they're not beautiful though, but why?
What are you trying to say?
Why are you everybody?
But I'm saying he's married.
And I heard he has another baby mama, one girl in this Nigeria, and I think her name is Choma or something.
Yeah, the story
in Asaba. I think she's in Asaba. I don't know where exactly. And this one, I think the one in Nigeria here in Asaba, he's taking full responsibility for that one because we've seen him a couple of times with the girl in the club.
Are you serious?
Yeah, a couple of times with the girl in the club. I saw a video of the girl was trying to like cover her face. You know, she was dancing in and Cubana was at her back. CP was at her back. So he's embracing that. The girl had.
Then he should do the necessary.
You know, that's why he was saying that.
Do you think she wants to marry him?
It's not about marriage, but the lady is saying take full responsibility of your child.
Maybe he's ashamed of the whole thing.
Ashamed of now that is all over the place.
You know, we're all bantering about who should come and who should go. But the issue is that Cubana has not even accepted that it's his child to start with. So what do you think about that? So we're not seeing that he's accepting. And, you know, that's why I'm saying it's important for him to at least clear his name with the DNA test. at least do the test. So that, because I'm wondering how his family is feeling. His wife is coming on social media every day, seeing these things.
That's what I'm saying. He's married and he's seeing this kind of thing.
But then I heard that he sued her also. With some at some court in Kenya. And then she came and she defended. There was a way she said what she said and saying that it's not going to hold water. Yes.
Hey, she has power. It's not going to hold water.
And everybody was like that. They believe that for her to be consistent.
And these men, I don't know. Like, why don't you? Why are you everywhere? Like, if it is true that she is the mother of that, he's the father of that child. I'm sorry to say,
I'm genuinely
it's a disgrace.
I'm genuinely curious.
To me, it's a disgrace.
This whole drama.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there was a time Davido was also like that, though. But I'm very sure he's out of it now. You know, he has.
I mean, if you do something,
I'm very sure he's out of it.
If you leave your traces like this, why don't you just follow it up?
Look at
the DNA test. You have the money
children
to do DNA
he has
test.
already.
Like, your
the whole feeling of
exactly.
Why is daddy everywhere?
Protect your family that you already have. You're married, you have a family. So why are you doing this to your
family? And it's not even
protecting
themselves, because this is like a
whole face blow.
So it's a whole face blow.
Public. Everybody has a say about one thing or the other.
And the kids too in school, you know how children can be.
Especially in social media age now, where they
it's not. I think I'll go with Divine. He really should go to Kenya though, but with maximum security.
Of course, no.
Maximum security.
I'm not
maximum security.
The truth is, I'm not even scared about him. I'm more scared about her coming than him. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Really?
That's why I said
if she's truly who she portrays herself to be as a poor person.
She's not. Divine is not social media.
I said portray. Listen. You have to listen. So that's why I said if she's truly who she portrays herself to be, then I am more scared for her. But here's the thing. I personally think, to just sum it up, which is thankfully someone is reasoning, we're all reasoning together at this point. I feel like he should do it. And when he now confirms that it is not his child, that's where that suing down comes in. You can now sue her for anything suable, defamation of character, all of that, cyber stalking, cyber bullying, and all.
Even for the not begging. Why are you enjoying this whole dragging?
No, this lady. She's not poor, it's easy.
I'm talking about the man. You're not poor. Why are you enjoying being dragged on social media? Why don't you just do
me, you see, for that Kenyan lady, she's not poor. Divine, forget that thing.
She might be average.
Men like that will never get down with anybody that is like less of their standard. If you see this Nigerian girl I'm talking about,
you know, when you said what you said, when you said what you said about her not being poor, I wanted to
just anybody.
They can take advantage.
Ijoma, please.
They can go to another country.
Let's not open another chapter. Let's not open. You know, when she said that she's not poor, I was opening my ear to hear why. But with
she's not
just
poor.
chill.
Trust me, she's not poor.
It may be that she's not poor, but this thing you're saying about whether they will get down with. Forget it.
Can.
Okay.
Let's take a look at
Nigerian
the comments. Our time is almost up.
They can.
Let's have the comment. The first comment here says, she's very sure he's the father of the child. That's why she's so confident in calling him out at any given chance. The next. Just imagine, even Kenyan people already know that you can buy everyone with money in Nigeria. It's finished. She's confident about it, I believe her. Helen should get a good lawyer. Then the court can authorize a paternity test to be carried out to ascertain the father of the child. I wish her best of luck, Sha, because it won't be easy for her if the child isn't his.
I love that.
I
love that.
This
that was what I was saying. I love that.
Then this one says, if DNA proves that he's the father, I pray the court makes him backdate all payments due to her. The next one here says, please don't jail him. Oh. He's Davido's bodyguard.
Who will protect Davido?
Why am Nigerian drama? Why someone would just come and drop off point?
As in out of the whole topic, like anyways, because they are close. So I think he's called for. You know, CP and Davido are close. So yeah, the whole thing. You know, he should really go to Kenya. I go with you, Divine. He should really go to Kenya.
He can, send up.
Exactly.
He can have it arranged.
Exactly. It's so
treat her well. Bring her here safely.
Exactly. That's the way they do it. You just send something, one sample or whatever it is. I
understand why he's so silent to this and hearing this woman always call him out.
Maybe he has the fear of it could be true.
And now, this is your reality already.
It could be true.
Face it full time. You understand?
But how many children does one man want to have?
The only thing making me tilt towards this lady at this point is the consistency for me.
Oh, see, Divine, let me tell you, some ladies are crazy.
No, I mean
Divine.
at least for fear of being arrested, for fear of being dealt with.
She's very sure of what happened.
If she has continued to come here, I mean, damning the consequences.
We don't have time.
Sorry, you remember Anita? During the videos, Anita, you remember how constant Anita was?
Anita was, you can't compare what went down with Anita with this.
Now, let's
And Anita's one was just one season.
Let's move forward. It's fine. It's fine.
Situation and enter.
Am I doing the video was as guilty as charged, please?
Now, let's see people in marriage. Please, put it up. We see somebody from on Twitter, as seen on Twitter, where we saw Jay Leto says, ask a question. Secrets you should never tell your woman. Your woman in the sense of your wife or your girlfriend or you're in a committed relationship with. And this person replied, enjoy with, I can't even call that name, Shubuv about what? He said, secrets you should never tell your woman. Here is the truth every man needs to know. First, your deepest fears. She might comfort you today and weaponize it tomorrow. Second, your exact bank balance. Mystery equals power. Full disclosure equals leverage. Third one, he said, your past body count. Oh. It never helps.
This is
interesting. Only haunts.
This is very interesting.
Number 4 says, your doubts about her. Handle them like a king. Observe, decide, act. Silence is strategy. 5 says, your darkest trauma. She's not your therapist. Heal in private, rule in public.
Wow, what's that?
Your next move. This is number 6. A man's vision dies when too many ears hears it. Your woman is too many ears. Number 7. Your family's weak points. Protect the house. She's not entitled to every crack in the wall. Number 8 says your emotional background. Cry if you must, but not in her arms. In the shadows, then rise. Number 9 says a woman can love you, but this is summary. A woman can love you, but she's biologically wired to respect strength. Give her your heart, not your handcuffs. Keep your silence sacred. Kings don't confess.
What is happening?
Conquer.
You know what?
What is happening?
Marry your fellow man.
There's something, please, unfortunately.
Exactly, marry your fellow man.
Unfortunately,
marry your fellow man.
Go with your fellow man.
Go with your fellow man.
We have just 1 minute. So there's something I'm proposing.
Yeah.
Next week, hopefully, we'll be joined by a guy.
Oh.
So
I think
it will be Ijoma versus... Yes.
I think it's a good idea.
Yes, because... And we need a guy's perspective.
Because
this is crazy. It's out of the world.
No, why do you need a woman? If this
why you then getting married? Why you then being in a relationship? Why you then wanting a woman? Why you then attracted?
Please, let's find
be with your fellow man.
Week. It's very important. Be with your fellow man. They are part of the world where they are accepting it
exactly.
now.
Thank God. We now have Pride Month.
Where you can now...
Oh God, we now have Pride Month. I mean, it's not bad.
Where you can now cry in the arms of your fellow man.
Exactly.
Kings don't have this. Kings in secrets are right.
Don't worry. Yeah. Next week, we'll take each of them one after the other and ask the guy and ask
I think it should be a full-blown topic next week.
What is not the essence? I don't understand.
Of having a relationship.
I know for a fact that some women have bad traits. I know that exists.
But do you know the list was just a mixture of
Divine. I don't care about the amount of money you're banking. As long as you're spoiling me the way I want. Buying me the things that I need, taking care of me in the best way, supporting me.
So you don't mind?
You can. I don't need to know the amounts, the figure exactly, but I know that we're good.
Please,
no, it's
I know that we're good.
You cannot be vulnerable with me,
because I'm going to be vulnerable with you.
Why would you get? Where is the place of vulnerability in this whole list?
Okay,
test it.
What do you want then? What are we doing?
It's okay.
It's fine.
Thank you.
Let's go home.
It's fine. No problem. Let's just go home.
But I'll say what I have to say for next week.
Next week, we need a man here.
Next week,
they need a man. They will chase us out of this set.
We need a man.
Thank you so much, Ijoma.
Thank you so much,
Ogochiku. And to you, viewer, sorry we're ending on a very chaotic note, and it was rather abnormal. But I promise you,
next week.
Next week, this of course, this
It's
is
going
your
to be
sign
hot.
to tune in next week. We're going to be having this conversation full blown. Hopefully, we'll have a guy here so that it doesn't look like we're being biased. So in case you're watching it and say 3 ladies, man, don't worry, we'll bring a solid man here to properly dissect this particular matter amongst all other things that we're going to be bringing for you next week. So that is a sign for you to join us next week, same time here on Afia TV. My name is Divine Onoha, and it's been a total pleasure.
And my name is Ogochukwu Osai. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you.